Welcome, you're watching Kaleidoscope Ceylinco Live News Capsule. Something's in the air this month and unfortunately for us, it's not anything good. News alerts have been warning us of rising levels of air pollution in cities in Sri Lanka and there have been a spate of lung-related infections as a result. Verite Research recently introduced airquality.lk, a website to inform the public about the quality of air. So I thought it fitting to speak with Verite Research Associate Ashani Basnayake about the air that we breathe. Ashani, the drop in air quality has been pushing us into the red. Is this unusual? Has it been happening for some time now?
What we've seen just in the last few days is a result of a depression in the Bay of Bengal, which is sweeping up a lot of the additional particles from South Asia. However, we have had elevated levels of air pollution, even when there isn't a depression creating this sort of circumstances which bring air pollution into Colombo. So what we've seen is that even when the wind is blowing in a different direction, there are still hotspots over Colombo, which means we're producing our own localized sources of air pollution, which actually brings us into the unhealthy categories as well. It's not an unusual case. We have had depressions before. I think it was in 2018, which also brought in a lot of additional transboundary pollution. But again, the main message to people is that Sri Lanka and Colombo, especially in the cities, does produce its own localized sources, which is enough to get us into the unhealthy categories.
So what should we do?
One is, I guess, people protecting themselves and their own health and that of their families. So that's not actually resolving the problem at source, but at least if you wear a mask, close your windows. People who are most sensitive should probably have an air purifier of these months, especially children, because they breathe at a faster rate, so they tend to absorb particles more. Pregnant women, the elderly, and obviously people with pre-existing conditions, because once these fine particles enter your lungs, they enter your bloodstream, and then of course that's why you have a range of diseases. So air quality has been linked to type 2 diabetes, mental health issues, aggression. So it's not what you typically would think as just only respiratory problems. So when the second, of course, option is to obviously annihilate it at source. We need to improve our public transport. So taking cars off the road or electrifying, going to electric, and obviously switching to renewable sources of energy. So you're not dependent on fossil fuels. And that doesn't just only mean it's not only good for your health, public health, of course, climate change, and there's obviously a whole range of other issues. And of course, thirdly, you're looking at better urban planning.
A big thank you to our partners. It is they who make Christmas special. Skills for Inclusive Growth and Australian Aid, Ceylinco Live, CDB, The Morning Newspaper, Park Street Gourmet and Zip Zip. Thank you. If you like Kaleidoscope, subscribe and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. Then you won't miss out.
You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks.